and then, to his amazement, he witnessed the egg cracking further, revealing a hand emerging from within. Yu Hao's amazement grew as he observed the hand. Its white and tender complexion resembled that of a human, but he couldn't let himself feel relieved just yet. What if this creature turned out to be a monster? He quickly dismissed the thought, refusing to dwell on it. As he watched the hand's actions, he couldn't help but notice its voracious appetite for his mental strength, which seemed to be at a high level. Concerned about what might happen if it didn't have enough to sustain itself, he wondered if it would turn to him as its next source of nourishment, and then a thought crossed his mind. Could this creature actually speak? He couldn't help but imagine it possessing a cute voice. As the egg cracked open, Yu Hao was filled with awe as he discovered a girl nestled inside. He couldn't help but gush over her adorable appearance. Eager to communicate, he questioned whether she was the Snow Empress, and if she remembered him. However, the girl remained silent, engrossed in devouring the egg yolk. Unfazed, Yu Hao introduced himself and inquired about the Ice Empress and Tian Meng. While the girl continued to relish the egg yolk, Yu Hao carefully observed her actions, attempting to unravel her intentions. Suddenly it dawned on him that she was uttering the word Papa. Overwhelmed with emotion, Yu Hao struggled to comprehend that the third-ranked soul beast of the entire continent was calling him Papa. The young girl expressed her longing to venture outside, prompting Yu Hao to inquire if she was capable of leaving. Without hesitation, the young girl darted out, catching sight of Niu Tian and Tai Tan. Curiosity piqued. She fled in their direction. Yu Hao urgently called out to the girl, urging her to wait and halt her steps. As Yu Hao listened to the girl's words, he couldn't help but feel conflicted. She insisted that Niu Tian and Tai Tan were baddies and encouraged him to hit them. However, Yu Hao knew better than to judge someone based on appearances alone. He pointed out the mess in the room, explaining to the Snow Empress that Niu Tian and Tai Tan would be upset. The Snow Empress defended herself, claiming it was unintentional. Tai Tan, surprised by Yu Hao's defense, questioned how he could side with her, considering her young age. Yu Hao, determined to protect the Snow Empress, asked Tai Tan what he had done wrong. Tai Tan, acknowledging the Snow Empress's good behavior, asked her if Yu Hao's defense was justified. Suddenly, the Snow Empress attacked Tai Tan, but Yu Hao managed to warn him just in time. Concerned, he asked if Tai Tan was all right. Thankfully, he was unharmed. Yu Hao let out a sigh of relief, admitting that he was a little scared. He couldn't help but notice that the Snow Empress possessed ice powers similar to his own, at a power level of 50. Tai Tan reassured her that he meant no harm and questioned why she was against him. Niu Tian chimed in, suggesting that it might be because Tai Tan was not the most attractive person. Tai Tan playfully joked that he resembled his older brother and couldn't understand why they needed to fight. Turning to the Snow Empress, Yu Hao playfully scolded her for being mischievous. However, he couldn't ignore the fact that she didn't have a physical form. While she felt soft and warm, she existed somewhere between a solid state and an energy state, unlike humans. Tai inquired about the Snow Empress's origins, questioning if she was a soul beast. Yu Hao confirmed this, explaining that she was the Heavenly Snow Empress reborn from earthly and heavenly energies. Tai then asked about the possibility of her being one of the 10 vicious beasts, having lived for 700,000 years. He wondered if she had transformed into her current form. Yu Hao realized he couldn't keep the Snow Empress a secret any longer, but he trusted the two uncles after the incident. The Snow Empress gestured at Yu Hao, who asked if she wanted to return. He also asked if she wanted to find a place to live. Tai was surprised to learn that she took up 2 spirit ring slots. He questioned if the little Snow Empress had become a spirit ring and doubted if she could revert to her previous form. As he called her back, the Snow Empress transformed, putting Tai at ease. Tai affectionately called out to the Snow Princess, asking if he could carry her. Niu Tian speculated that the Snow Princess was using the 4 rings to recover her energy. He understood that during battles, the Snow Empress drew energy directly from the rings, not from him. Niu Tian noted that they just needed to be connected, which was advantageous. He agreed that this way there were essentially 2 of them fighting simultaneously. Niu Tian also sensed that Yu Hao's body was advancing to the next level. He mentioned that these improvements were purely on the bloodline level, so there wouldn't be many physical changes during the process. Niu Tian then mentioned that it provided a significant boost to Yu Hao's strength. With his current progress, Yu Hao could potentially reach the rank of a titled Daoluo by the time he turns 40.
Do you want to know the name of this manga, along with all the manga names of the recaps we did in our channel? How about also the chapter numbers our recaps end? You can simply ask the names in our Discord community for free or become a donor to get them all in one place. You can either be a donor in Patreon or be a member in our YouTube channel. Just scan this QR code or go to the link in the description to become a donor. Moreover, becoming a donor automatically makes you a VIP member of our Discord server with over tens of thousands of members.
Yu Hao was pleasantly surprised by Uncle Niu's high regard for him. He then hugged the Snow Empress and planted a kiss on her cheek. Chuckling, he teased the Snow Empress when she wiped her face jokingly. He was asking if she didn't consider him like a father or if he was too dirty. Tai commented on how adorable the Snow Empress was and inquired if he could also kiss her. He promised to fulfill any of her wishes. Unintentionally, he referred to himself as Grandpa from Yu Hao's perspective. Tai remarked that the little girl was still holding a grudge against him and asked Yu Hao what she was saying. Yu Hao revealed that the Snow Empress was calling him a scoundrel as they laughed together. Tai was taken aback. Tai expressed that the Snow Empress was being unfair. He questioned whether it was his fault for being born unattractive. As the Snow Empress began speaking, Tai asked Yu Hao to translate her words. Yu Hao explained that she advised him not to get angry, which Tai found puzzling. He wondered if he had a short temper. Yu Hao clarified that the Empress mentioned it wasn't Tai's fault for his appearance, but it was his responsibility not to scare people away. Tai admitted defeat, acknowledging that the Snow Empress had won that round. He sighed, admitting he couldn't stay mad at her because she was just too cute. Turning to Niu Tian, he expressed his fascination with the situation and asked if he could also find a soul like that. Niu Tian cautioned him that it wasn't as simple as he thought, and questioned where he would find a beautiful humanoid soul similar to the Snow Empress. Niu Tian reminded Tai that his current task was to assist Yu Hao in testing his strength. Tai agreed and instructed Yu Hao to engage in a friendly sparring match. Yu Hao nodded in agreement. Tai then informed Yu Hao that while he couldn't harm the Snow Empress, he wouldn't show any mercy either. This revelation surprised Yu Hao, who questioned whether Tai would resort to bullying the weak. Tai explained that age was not a factor that would grant him any leniency on the battlefield. He asked Yu Hao if his opponents would go easy on him just because he was younger. Tai emphasized that in order to become the best of the best, one must be prepared to face any challenge that comes their way. Just then, the Snow Empress appeared and reprimanded them for their misconduct once again. Overwhelmed with emotions, Tai began to sob uncontrollably. Yu Hao, understanding Tai's distress, assured him that he would wait for him at a designated location. Tai, consumed by anger, retorted that Yu Hao should indeed wait for him, as he would effortlessly crush him with his strength. The rules were clear. Yu Hao was forbidden from using his spirit essence, while Tai had the freedom to retaliate with a reasonable amount of strength. Yu Hao agreed to these terms, confident that he could still emerge victorious if he could find a way to outsmart Tai's strength. However, Tai underestimated Yu Hao's abilities, believing that without his spirit essence, Yu Hao would be powerless. And so the battle began. Tai exerted his pressure, but Yu Hao stood firm, displaying his unwavering determination on the battlefield. Tai couldn't help but notice the unusual white spirit ring that Yu Hao possessed and questioned its origin, wondering if it could be a 10-year-old spirit ring. Yu Hao reminded Tai to stay focused on the fight, not allowing any distractions to sway his attention. With his Descension of the Sovereign technique, Yu Hao managed to knock Tai back, earning a nod of acknowledgement from his opponent for his skill. The battle raged on, with both fighters exchanging blows. Tai admitted that Yu Hao had a formidable punch, finding the fight increasingly intriguing. As Yu Hao unleashed the evolved version of his technique, Gaze of Destiny, Tai braced himself, displaying his resilience against Yu Hao's relentless attacks. Feeling the vast cultivation gap between them, Yu Hao realized that his techniques were proving ineffective against Tai. Determined to push Tai to use his spirit essence, Yu Hao unleashed a series of powerful techniques, including the Protection of the Ice Emperor, Claw of the Ice Emperor, and Shadow Illusion Step. Niu, observing the battle, recognized the Shadow Illusion Step and understood Yu Hao's strategic approach. Yu Hao knew that if he wanted to compel Tai to use his spirit essence, he would have to go to great lengths to achieve that goal. With a surge of determination, Yu Hao unleashed the complete version of the Shadow God Terror Claw, only to be surprised when Tai blocked it with his bare hands. Despite Yu Hao's warning to be cautious, Tai brushed it off and jokingly demanded compensation for his clothes, calling Yu Hao a rascal. At that moment, Yu Hao realized that his worries had been unnecessary. Niu commented on how Yu Hao still approached combat with a childlike innocence, urging him to be mindful of his opponent's capabilities. Undeterred, Yu Hao continued his relentless assault, tapping into the rage of the Ice Emperor, determined to overcome any obstacle in his path. Yu Hao's confidence took a hit when Tai questioned if he had anything left up his sleeve. It dawned on him that he had exhausted all his tricks and had no more cards to play. Tai, on the other hand, seemed unfazed save for a few ruffled clothes. Yu Hao came to terms with the vast difference in their abilities, realizing he stood no chance against Tai in his current state. Despite this, Niu praised Yu Hao's punch for its impressive blend of mental strength, momentum, and soul power. He even went as far as to claim that Wang Dong wouldn't stand a chance against Yu Hao. In defeat, Yu Hao admitted his loss to Tai, humbly acknowledging his shortcomings in comparison to Tai's strengths. Although defeated, he reassured the Snow Empress that losing was a natural part of the process, especially when facing such a formidable opponent. The Snow Empress then encouraged Yu Hao to propose a rematch with Tai. Yu Hao proposed another duel to Tai, who was curious if the Snow Empress had more tricks up her sleeve. Feeling a strange connection with the Snow Empress, Yu Hao found her adorable and couldn't resist raising his hand. However, he held back from going all out. Suddenly, Clear Sky Peak transformed into a snowy landscape with dancing snowflakes. Tai worried about not being able to locate Yu Hao, while Yu Hao noticed the expanded ice field's increased range and temperature. Despite the changes, Yu Hao could still sense Tai's presence within the icy terrain. Tai realized his spirit essence couldn't help him find Yu Hao in the expanded ice field. As the snow disappeared and the temperature rose slightly, Neo warned Tai about the deceptive warmth and absence of snow, signaling the activation of the Snow Empress's technique. Tai recognized the abnormal coldness emanating from the Snow Empress's palm, which penetrated through his spirit power and blood circulation. The formidable protection of the Snow Empress's ice power was evident in the bone-chilling coldness of her technique. Yu Hao cautioned the Snow Empress about the potential danger of using that technique on Tai. Tai, confused, asked Yu Hao if he truly believed it would harm him. He then questioned who deserved the title of shield title Duluo, himself or Yu Hao. Tai dared Yu Hao to reveal all his abilities if he had any left. Niu then informed Tai that he had already lost. Tai, angry, demanded to know how he was defeated. Niu stated that a loss was a loss, with no arguments. He pointed out that Tai must have felt threatened and instinctively summoned his spirit weapon. Niu acknowledged that Yu Hao had a backup plan, and the technique could have harmed Tai. Grudgingly, Tai accepted this, agreeing with Niu's logic. Niu praised Yu Hao, admitting he hadn't expected the Snow Empress to master his soul and replicate his techniques flawlessly. In the vast expanse of the absolute northern lands, there resided 3 formidable spirit beasts, known as the 3 Heavenly Kings. Among them were the Snow Emperor, the Ice Emperor, and the Titan's Snow Devil King. Legend spoke of the Snow Empress, who possessed an extraordinary mastery of 3 ultimate techniques. Her sword and palm techniques were said to chill the very sky, while her bone-chilling Winter Zone was a domain-type skill that she could unleash alongside a partner. This icy domain was her battleground, perfectly suited for her battles in the frigid lands. The Snow Empress had the incredible ability to transform any area into her domain, turning it into a forbidden ground where snowflakes danced in the air. Her frozen palm technique was said to be unstoppable, leaving no one immune to its effects. The only way to survive was to evade it completely. Even the best efforts would likely prove futile if she were to employ this technique. But it was her Empress Frozen Sword technique that truly showcased her mastery. With this technique, she condensed the snow from 1,000 miles into a snowblade, embodying unrivaled absolute ice. It was considered the pinnacle of ice manipulation. Yu Hao, who had just used a strike that paled in comparison to the Snow Empress's power, forced Tai to unleash his spirit essence in order to resist it. Yu Hao himself was amazed at the boost in his strength when teaming up with the Snow Empress. Even the sect masters of the Clear Sky sect were astounded by his performance, as it exceeded all expectations. Tai, having finally dispelled the frost, admitted that the gust of chill had reached the very core of his being. Niu cautioned him against relying solely on his resilient body and attributed this to Tai's fighting habits. He warned him of the consequences of facing every attack head-on. Tai, deep in thought, contemplated how he would unleash his full strength against Yu Hao. Tai proceeded with caution, emphasizing the need to be extremely careful if he were to engage in a sparring match with the Snow Empress. He openly expressed his desire to challenge her strength, proposing a duel to determine the superior fighter. Turning to Yu Hao, Tai inquired about the technique that had been concealed during their previous conversation. Yu Hao revealed that he had refrained from using an ice explosion technique, which he had readied when Tai's palm connected with his arm. He explained that the detonation would have been internal, triggered by his spirit power and the sub-zero temperature of the Snow Empress's shield. Yu Hao admitted to feeling apprehensive about the potential consequences. Impressed by Yu Hao's honesty, Tai commended him for his bravery and officially declared him the victor of their match.